At this time, I would like to call to order the regular board meeting for Wednesday, July 24th, 2024 of the Warrensville Heights City School District. Marie, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Mooman,
Here.
Mr. Fuller,
Here.
Mrs. Gator,
Here.
Mr. Roberts.
Here. At this time, would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. At this time, I would like to turn your attention to item 1.3, and it is my pleasure to welcome our newest board member, Mr. Keith Fuller. Mr. Fuller will now undergo the administering of the oath of office.
I think Tracy used to bring hers.
Okay. Hold on, we gotta stay. Facing that. Go ahead.
Mr. Keith Fuller, do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duties as a member of the Board of Education of the Warrensville Heights City School District in Cuyahoga County, Ohio, to the best of your ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office and until your successor is elected and qualified?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And welcome to the board, Mr. Fuller. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep, congratulations. Doing stuff. Happy to have you.
One team, one vision, one goal.
There it is. All right, our next agenda item is item 1.4, which is the approval of the agenda. Are there any additions, amendments, changes that need to be made to tonight's agenda?
No additions.
All right.
To tonight's agenda. No, sir.
All right, board, do I have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move that we accept item 4, which is the approval of the agenda.
And I second it.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Marie, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mrs. Mooman,
Yes.
Mr. Fuller,
Yes, abstain.
Mrs. Gator,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts.
Yes. Motion passes 4-0.
3.
I'm sorry. Motion passes 3-0. We had one abstention. All right. Next is item 1.5, the approval of the minutes. Board, do I have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move that we accept item 1.5, which is the approval of the minutes for June 26th, 27th, and July 10th.
I second it.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Marie, please call the roll.
Mr. Fuller,
Abstain.
Mrs. Mooman,
Yes.
Mrs. Gator,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts.
Yes, motion passes 3-0, one abstention. All right, next we go to item 1.6, public participation. Do we have any participation cards this evening?
No.
All right, thank you very much. That takes us to item 1.7, board reports. Board, does anyone have a report to file this evening?
No.
No.
All right, thank you very much. That takes us to item 1.8, superintendent reports. Mr. Jolly.
Yes, welcome, Mr. Fuller to the Board of Education. We look forward to continuing our journey of doing the work of the people. We appreciate you coming and joining this great team. Also to all our community members, thank you for being here today. I have a brief report. I just want to review a couple items. I'll go over our curriculum changes that we're making in our curriculum department, go over our cell phone policy and some other items. David, can you bring it up? All right, just for those who don't know, I just always like to review what our vision and mission is. Our vision is inspiring confidence, encouraging success. Every day, that's our goal, to ensure that our students are confident so that when they go out into the world, they use that confidence to be successful. Our mission is creating an educational environment that promotes curiosity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration while empowering our scholars to be responsible, contributing members of our community, nation, and world. Again, these are some of the items that we do on a continuous basis to ensure that our scholars are ready and prepared for success. Today, I just want to go over the restructuring of our curriculum department. We did have our curriculum director who moved on to another position outside the district. That resulted in us having a thorough review of the curriculum and our data intervention departments. Originally, they were together. We separated them during COVID because we saw a need to provide intensive intervention for our students, and we needed someone that had a hand on it at all times. As we review the departments, we believe, and our plan is that we merge the two departments, understanding that the person who's being recommended has thorough understanding of intervention, and she will incorporate that into our curriculum department. So the plan is to combine both departments. We will not hire a data intervention director, but what we will do is hire a primary academic. We already have a primary academic coach. We will reassign the person who was a data coach to become our primary academic coordinator, and then we'll fill our literacy 6 to 12 position. That position was being covered by our secondary position, but now we will infuse that. I am recommending that Ms. Shannon Thornton will take over as the director of curriculum and instruction, but she also will have assessments as part of her position. So she still will be responsible for our data and intervention. She will be responsible, I think, 9 team members of the team. So she will have 9 team members, 9 people who work for her. That's underneath in that position in the curriculum department. So we cover K-12, early childhood to secondary education.
Mr. Jolly, how long has she been with us?
Shonda's been with us since 2021.
221.
And she came as the director of intervention and support.
Oh.
So she has, as we looked at it, she has the most knowledge of the curriculum department. She worked hand in hand with Roxanne the last 3 years. So every curriculum adoption, every resource she already had knowledge of. So it's a real easy transition. That's when Roxanne transitioned to that position also.
So the curriculum that we're working with now, we are pleased with it?
Yeah, I mean, we have a new literacy curriculum that we just started. I believe that we have the best and latest curriculum. I think that it's just about the implementation of the curriculum, which I believe that Shannon would definitely is realigning the team to ensure that it happens on a daily basis.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
What does the support staff look like? You said it's 9.
Right, so she has the STEAM coordinator, she has the pre-K to 5 coordinator, she has a math coach, reading coach, literacy coach, pre-K to 5, who I'm missing.
So you have the federal programs coordinator, you have primary coordinator, you have secondary coordinator, and you have a student coordinator, and you have 2 literacy specialists, one for primary, one for secondary, and then two
Math
math
specialists.
specialists, one for primary, one for secondary.
Oh, okay.
So that's the team. So we cover all gamuts of high school.
That was the information that was contained in the email that you sent to us last week, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Any other questions? So we believe we streamlined the team to get us where we need to go. So we look forward to Shannon doing some great things. I will ask her to say a couple of words once she gets once the board makes a decision on approving her. I just wanted to give an update on the band fundraiser. We are running real slow with band fundraiser. I don't believe we have $10,000 yet. We are working hard to try to up the fundraising, so I just want to give an update on some of the fundraising events that's occurring. On Saturday, we have this fundraiser at the Astro downtown. I did send that out. We sent it out to the whole staff.
Right.
It's a high ticket fundraiser. We look to get a lot of alumni, a lot of business people to come to that. The goal of that fundraiser is $10,000. I did speak to Mr. Wilson about it today, so they are selling tickets to that. So that's his first official fundraiser. We did one at the final award. I think we got about $1,600 at the final award. The second fundraiser we'll do is at the Warrensville Home Days. We talked to alumni. They will have a donation table, donation box at their table during the home days. And also there'll be a 50-50 raffle on both days. So we hope to raise a significant amount there. At every home game, there will be a fish fry. So the band boosters will do a fish fry every home game. I listed all. There's 6 home games this year. So prayerfully, we're not expecting to get $10,000 out of it. We expect to get something out of these different fish fries that's going to occur at each home game. Next slide. The Battle of the Bands, which will be at the high school, we do expect that to be a big fundraiser. $15 per ticket. That'll be September 21st. I believe it'll be over 10 different bands there. We also talked to the Alumni Association today about doing a blue and gold sneaker ball. We will meet on Tuesday to discuss that and get the dynamics of that as a fundraiser for the band. And then also, we will come to the board to ask the board to support. And also the city has also pledged money to support the band. In all, Mr. Wilson believed we could do it with $150,000, between $150 and $200. But the city has committed a significant amount, said they would contribute a significant amount. And then we will see where we are and we will come to the board also to see where we are. So again, our goal is $200,000. I believe we could do it for about $150,000. But the fundraisers are ongoing to try to get the money to send the trip. There's 55 students that have been identified.
How many?
55 students have been identified to travel. Are there any questions about the fundraising? Next thing I want to go over is the cell phone consequences. We have the cell phone policy with the Yonder policies. This letter will be going home to parents. House Bill 250 mandated that every school have a cell phone policy. So on our cell phone policy, we would give every 6th to 12th grader one Yonder pouch for free. So that would be one of their issued equipment from the school district. Once they lose it, if they do lose it, they can buy one for $25. That would be the replacement cost. And then if they lose or don't have it again, then they would be required to leave their phone in the office. The consequences of it, the first violation, now we have to be very severe on this cell phone thing because last year we did a lot of plan, not want to say plan, but it wasn't a consistent punishment for phones. We did see the culture change tremendously with the phones, but you still had violators. This did get approved by our lawyer to ensure that we can enforce it. Because So I wanted to make sure that if we put it out there, we can enforce it. So the first violation is 2 days out of school suspension. Second is 3 days. Third is 5 days. We want to make it as severe as possible. Everybody knows what the rule is, and we expect everybody to follow it. So I will say that we're the pioneers with the yonder vouchers. We had at least 10 different districts come see us last year. A lot of districts are picking it up, including Cleveland, Shaker. I know that Cleveland Heights is doing some, and some at one of the middle schools and so forth. I think East Cleveland doing something with it. It worked well for us last year, and we want to continue that process of doing it. So I just want the board to be aware of what's going on with the cell phone.
So what about this $25 replacement cost? Is this something we do this year? Did we do it last year?
So last year we didn't charge anything for the replacement, and we just ate the cost. But they are expensive. They're very expensive. They cost about $25 a piece.
Right.
So since we buy them in bulk, we bought 1,200 of them. So with the 1,200 that's purchased, we have enough for replacements to give everyone one initially. So one of the things we do want to get away from, we give out a lot of stuff for free, computers, everything for free. And people don't value them when they get are free. So we got to put a monetary value on a lot of things, on more things now. You know, coming from the pandemic, we want to make sure everybody had everything.
Right.
But some people take it for granted, so we have to be stricter to it. And on a case-by-case basis, if people don't have it, then we'll make the accommodation.
There's a lot of charges in our policy for different items. So are we saying that we're not really going after people for different things?
I think we laxed it during COVID,
Okay.
and we got to get back on charge, get back to the charge. During COVID, it was a lot of, we relaxed a lot of things during COVID. Because it was just the times. Well, we have to get back to charging back where we need to. This important dates, new teacher orientation, August 7th and 8th, the convocation. August 9th, we will have Imani Edwards as our convocation speaker class of 2014. August 13th, we have open house at the August 12th at the elementary school. August 13th at the middle and high school. August 15th would be at the early childhood center. We have a staggered start, so all the students do not start on August 14th. On August 14th, grades 1 to 5 start, grade 6 and grade 9. Next slide. On the 15th, basically the elementary school, they start 1 to 5, they go every day. But at the middle school, we have grade 7 and 8 the second day, and 10 to 12. And then on the 16th, everybody goes. The early childhood center has their own schedule. They will communicate with parents. That schedule, because they phase the kids in by birthdays and everything else. So they will send that out to the parents. On September 21st is the Battle of the Bands. September 27th is the Staff and Service Day. And then I just put these schedules up for middle school sports. We'll pass all this to the board, but that's our middle school football, high school football schedule, high school volleyball schedule, and also I need the cross country schedule. So our next steps. I'm sorry.
Before we go any further, I want to ask that in the classroom, and this is basically for the teacher, that they are seriously on board with the Yonder Pouch. I mean, I don't want to hear that this particular teacher allowed me to have my phone. I don't want to hear none of that this year. I want every teacher that is committed to our children to be on board with the Yonder Pouch.
I'm in 100% agreement.
Okay.
So I think last year we did have a few people, I don't want to say a majority, but it was a small minority who want to be friends with the kids, who allowed them, and they were talked to, things were done. But again, one team, one vision, one goal, everybody has to be on the same page. And I think that that's something that we have to continue to strive for, is that everyone has the same expectations across the board. When people have low expectations in one class and then other classes have high expectations, it tends to bring the expectations down for all. So again, I do appreciate you making that statement, and I appreciate we'll do all we can, and we will ensure that all teachers and staff members enforce that policy. Even the students that's coming from in career tech. Last year, we let the career tech people come in and use their phones, but this year, they have to follow the rules of our school. So they have to put their phones in a box too when they come to Warrensville.
All right,
Mr.
thank you.
Joy, really quick, when is convocation again?
August 9th,
Okay. Oh, wow.
so it's like 2 weeks on Friday.
Thank you.
So we have our administrative retreat on August 1st and 2nd. We will be at the Foundry, which is downtown. It's like a rowing club and do some team building activities there. And then we will at a Blue or Gold Academy. That's the teacher professional development. That's on the 12th and 13th. And then the first day of school on the 14th, which is our board meeting. So at this time, I'm open to any questions or concerns moving forward.
You seem to have everything in order.
And I do got an update on the rec center. So the rec center the pool is about to be painted.
Okay.
So we're working on painting the pool. The gym lights are being updated and the gym floor is about to be done. We are finalizing the final walkthroughs of the high school. So there's still some things they have to fix. They have to redo the gym floor. And there's some items throughout the building. They did a walkthrough this morning. Then the baseball fields, the last part of the baseball field, they have to put in a new turf at the baseball field. So the gravel or the dirt that they put in is not the right composition. So now we gotta go back and put a different type of dirt, a different type of clay down on the baseball field, which they should be done by the end of hopefully the next 2 weeks.
So people are already able to use the baseball field?
No, they're not using the baseball field.
What are they doing over there? A bunch of people over
Yeah, so what that is
Football.
youth football.
Youth
So,
football.
yeah, you currently, I would say it's over 200 kids is playing youth football. They're not all from Warrensville.
Okay.
The Warrensville team partnered with the Maple Heights team to form one team. So it's about 200 girls, boys,
The
up there
cheerleaders down
playing
in football.
football,
Oh, okay.
every day. Again, it's, I think, a very positive thing for the community
It
to
is.
have those students engaged.
I'm happy to hear that.
Mr. Jolly, since you're talking about opening schools and stuff, how are we doing with registration right now? You know, normally there's a nice backlog going.
So it's slow right now. I believe it was only 20 pre-K registered last check and 80 kindergartners. It will pick up in August though. Beginning of August is a big rush every year.
Next week.
Yeah, next week. But we are 28 and I believe 80 in kindergarten. It's not going as like around this time it starts picking up.
Yeah.
So, like the
Right
first
now-
week of August.
But right now, we have about 80 kindergartners.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But normally, I mean, we probably have
Register.
about 130 or 140 a year, so,
I love that 80.
yeah. And
Small
in the pre-K,
Right.
we got about 60 slots that we gotta fill pre-K.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot.
Okay, all right, thank you.
But we normally get them, so we'll just wait.
Okay.
That concludes your report?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Jolly. Next item will be item 1.9, our treasurer's report. And this month, our treasurer report will be given by our district assistant treasurer, Maurice Spivey.
Next slide. Next slide.
Next slide.
Okay, today I'll talk about insurance renewals. Our insurance has increased due to factors such as over the last 5 years, we had lower premiums due to construction and new construction and the demolish of buildings. The post-pandemic inflation was in full effect, but we did not experience this since the buildings were taken offline and new buildings were not complete. Now we have new, larger buildings, and they are worth more in value compared to the old 50-plus-year-old buildings. This is the first year with all new buildings in operation. We have completed the middle school, the high school, the elementary school, and the ECC. Next slide. Okay. In 2017, the district moved to a new carrier, We had great savings. We went from 260,000 in 2016 to 120,000 in 2017 with the Ohio school plan. And we were offered more coverage than compared to the older plan. Since then, the annual cost coverage went from 120 to 140,000 through the construction years due to the removal of old buildings and demolition. Fiscal year 25, the premium is 217,000 based on the current appraised value by the insurance carrier. The cost of the new buildings is still less than the 216's rate. The increase was anticipated for all of these reasons. As property values increase, the insurance premiums increase. The district is covered with full coverage on the new buildings. Okay, so the next thing I'll talk about is the emergency levy renewal resolutions. The Board of Elections found a typo in our resolution requiring a revised resolution for the renewal of the emergency levy. The first step is to rescind the June 26, 2024 resolution due to incorrect data, which was the date and the value amount. The next step is to pass the corrected resolution as required before the August 7th deadline. This is for an existing levy that has renewed every 5 years since 1990. The levy generates $1.8 million. Since it is a renewal, the taxpayers still enjoy the old discounts, which is 12.5% total. 10% discount if you reside in a property, 2.5% discount if the property is non-business. Renewing this levy retains the discount for taxpayers since it is no longer available to them, and it preserves a revenue stream for the district. A renewal has no increase in taxes. Any questions?
Board, any questions for Ms. Spivey? All right. All right, thank you very much, Ms. Spivey. All right, next, that brings us to section 2. Board, as Marie stated, we're gonna have to do these in separate distinct votes. So we're gonna need a motion for 2.1 to rescind the previous resolution, a second one for 2.2 to proceed with the submission of the new levy, and then the final two can be done by consent agenda. So first, do I have a motion for item 2.1?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move that we accept item 2.1, which is to rescind the June 26th resolution determining to proceed with the submission of a renewal levy.
I'll second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Ms. Spivey, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mrs. Mooman?
Yes.
Mrs. Gator?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes, motion passes 4-0. Next, board, do we have a motion for item 2.2?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move that we accept item 2.2, resolution determining to proceed with the submission of a renewal levy.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you very much. It's been properly moved and seconded. Ms. Spivey, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Mooman?
Yes.
Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mrs. Gator?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes, motion passes 4-0. Next, we have a motion for items 2.3 and 2.4.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move that we accept item, are we doing these as a consent agenda?
Yes, ma'am, we can do
I'm sorry about
2,
that.
3, and 4. Yes, ma'am.
Item 2.3 and 2.4, let me start that over. Mr. Chair, I move that we accept as a consent agenda items 2.3 and 2.4.
Thank you, Ms. Gator. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Ms. Spivey, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mrs. Mooman?
Yes.
Mrs. Gator?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes, motion passes 4-0. All right, that brings us to section 3. We can actually do these by consent agenda. So do I have a motion for items 3.1 and 3.2? Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
I second.
All right, thank you very much. Motion has been moved and seconded. Mr. Jolly?
Yes. 3.1 is principal culture. In 3.1, we have a new principal at our early childhood, and this is our second year in our middle school principal. Ms. Sharon Sanders, who's worked with the district since I've been here even longer. She was working for the EFC. Now she will work for the district in providing principal coaching, 120 days, which she will be an instrumental in my eyes and ears, helping assistant in providing support for our principal. Also working with our BLT team and our DLT team. She has been instrumental with our district leadership team for the past since I've been here. And she also will help with our PBIS also. So Ms. Sanders is a great investment for the district. And also we hired up Ms. Shermel Fitzpatrick, which she'll be replacing Charity White. Charity White worked in the curriculum office. She went out and went on maternal leave and she didn't come back. So this is a replacement for her.
All right. Board, are there any questions? All right. Hearing none. Ms. Spivey, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mrs. Moolman,
Yes.
Mr. Fuller,
Yes.
Mrs. Gator,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts.
Yes. Motion passes 4-0. All right, next that brings us to item, section 4. We have items 4.1 through 4.5. Do I have a motion, board?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move that we accept as the consent agenda item 4, superintendent's recommendations and presentations for board action certificated staff 4.1 through 4.5.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Mr. Jolly?
Yes, 4.1 is accepting the resignation of our culinary teacher. He did resign. We do have 3 candidates at this time for that position.
So we interviewing for that.
We're interviewing for that position tomorrow. They'll be interviewing tomorrow for the culinary position. So we anticipate that we will have a culinary recommendation before our August 14th meeting.
Okay.
We do have some great candidates for that position. 4.2 is it's a rescinding Sergio Henry as our high school assistant track coach. There was a typo in that. 4.3 is the hiring of 2 teachers. I believe some of them are here today. Ms. Williams and Ms. Lloyd, are they here? I think Ms. Williams is here. High school social studies. Ms. Lloyd, middle school. ELA. 4.4 is the reclassification of Mrs. Shannon Thornton from the Director of Scholar Intervention and Data to the Director of Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment. That is what we shared with you earlier. Her responsibilities increased from 1 employee to 9 employees, which resulted in her getting a pay increase.
Oh, okay.
To accommodate her for her new increased responsibility, which is the district activity program.
And her office will be where?
Right next to mine on the second floor. And 4.5 is we have a new Spanish teacher, is to provide some support for our high school Spanish teacher to our middle school Spanish teacher. So that's giving them 12 hours to meet before school. So we're going to pay them to come in so that they can work collaboratively to get acclimated to the school. So we wanted to put that in place.
Okay.
All right. Thank
I
you.
believe our Spanish teacher is here for the middle school.
Okay.
She's here also.
All right.
And she was approved earlier, so Ms. Chapman is here.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jolly. Board, any questions, comments?
Yeah, I would just like to clarify something. So for the high school track assistant coach, that's for last year, it's not for this
It
year?
was for last year.
So,
Came on late.
oh, Okay, so we're not board approving him for this year.
No, not for this year. This is
Not
for last
yet.
year.
This is retro,
Pay him
it's
for last year.
to pay him, okay,
Yeah.
understood.
Because he served. It's
Yeah,
pay
yeah.
him for last year.
I know.
Understood.
Thank you.
Board? Anyone else? Board. All right, Ms. Spivey, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Fuller,
Yes.
Mrs. Moomin,
Yes.
Mrs. Gator,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts.
Yes, motion passes 4-0. Mr. Jolly, would you like our
Yeah,
new teachers?
so can I have our new director of curriculum instruction and assessment to come up and share a few words?
Good afternoon, everybody. I just want to say thank you all for allowing me this opportunity. I don't take it lightly. I think when superintendent asked me, a matter of fact, I know I told him to give me a second to think about it because I wanted to pray on it because I know what a immense responsibility it is, and I wanted to make sure that I had the strength to do it. We have worked relentlessly since I've been here in 2021, and I had the unique opportunity to, as I reflect, to study under Superintendent Jolly, to study and work aside Dr. Caver, to study and work aside Roxanne Lozar. So I come in with a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and I understand the pride that Warrensville has. So I don't take it very lightly. What we've done here before I came and since I've been here is nothing short of amazing. A matter of fact, when I thought about it, a slogan for our department is exceptional. Superintendent Jolly always says it's simple to go from an F to a C. Even though it's really hard work, it's simple. We had to change some things. We want to be a 5-star district, and that's going to we have to do exceptional things. So my focus is exceptional teaching and exceptional learning. So I'm honored to have this opportunity. I thank you all for trusting me with this opportunity, and I promise you that you will see the hard work day in and day out. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
One quick question.
Of course. Get ready.
No problem. Go ahead.
My question is, are you going to be able to walk around in the school, looking in the classroom, making sure that our staff is doing what they're supposed to do?
That's a great question. So part of what superintendent proposed or showed you earlier was the restructuring plan. So part of that was to make sure that underneath me and my department, I had people carrying out a lot of responsibilities. I just came back from Nashville and I was sitting at our debrief with our teachers and I shared with her this and she asked me a similar question. And my goal in the month of September is to get into every single classroom in the district. You can't be in charge of the curriculum, instruction, and assessment of the district if you haven't stepped foot in every single classroom. And she said, Ms. Thornton, are you sure you can get into every single classroom? I said, I'm not sure it's going to happen. So the answer to your question is yes. In the month of September, I promise to get into every single classroom in the district and to stay visible. One thing I'm excited about, and superintendent said, well, you've done a lot of data. I said, but I love instruction and curriculum. And I had a chance just in these last couple of weeks as we're transitioning to interface with the community, to speak to the library and other. I was on a phone with the organization that works through Harvard and Proving Ground. So one thing I do like to do is to get from behind the desk, but it was necessary for me to be behind the desk, not being able to see into the future because I understand the data and the history of the district, but I'm very excited to get out, to get into the classrooms, to be seen and be visible. So part of that restructuring plan is to allow coordinators and specialists to work with our principals, with our leaders, with the superintendent to carry out the strategic plan, which frees me up to be visible and be a face in the buildings every single day.
Thank you.
No problem.
I wanted to hear that.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you all.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, please.
Now, Miss Williams' mother worked for our district and retired.
Oh, really?
Who was your mother?
I'm my own person. Okay. My mom was Gladys Richardson. She retired from the district maybe 4 years ago. But I am Robin Williams, and I am going to be the new social studies teacher. So I've taught social studies in Cleveland and Euclid for the last 7 years.
Okay.
I should have been here 7 years ago, but we are here today.
You're here now.
So I'm really excited to work in the Warrensville community. What I'm most excited about is the culture here.
Mhm.
I come from Cleveland, which is a much larger district, and one thing that I really miss is school culture. I'm a Tiger too, but I'm a Heights Tiger. Now I'm a Warrensville Tiger.
You're one that's like now.
And so just that school culture is really important to me. So I'm really excited about that. During my time teaching, my main focus is really working on just creating open-minded learners, making sure that they're knowledgeable, that they're reflective, and just open to new ideas. So that is my goal this year. Coming to the classroom is to really get to know the students, working on historical thinking skills that are that will not only make them successful in the classroom or in the school building, but also in life as well. So I am very excited to work with you all. You guys will see me a lot because I am everywhere. I love kids. And yeah, this is not our last meeting. So thank you all, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay. Welcome to our district.
Welcome.
Ms. Chapman? Here. No one else wants to come up and talk to us?
Our Spanish teacher is here.
Right.
Teach me. Hola.
Say something to us in a foreign language.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están?
Sí.
Muchas gracias. Thank you all for your service. I'm really excited to be a part of this community. Education runs through my blood.
Mhm.
Been doing it for 15 years or so. So I'm really excited to be a part of this team. Thank you for your service, and yeah, I will look forward to being in touch with you all.
All right, thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. That brings us to section number 5. Section in 5.1, there was a resignation, but there was no name attached. So we'll just need a motion. We'll just need a motion for 5.2, board.
So we're just gonna start with.
With 5, just 5.2. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I move that we accept as consent agenda items 5, superintendent's recommendations and presentations for board actions classified staff. Items 5.2. No, just 5.2.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Mr. Jolly?
He started hiring 2 paraprofessionals at the Early Childhood Center and at the elementary school. Are any of the pairs here today? No, they're not here, so no.
All right, board, do we have any questions on item 5.2? All right, Ms. Spivey, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mrs. Mooman,
Yes.
Mr. Fuller,
Yes.
Mrs. Gator,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts.
Yes, motion passes 4-0. Brings us to section 6. So I'll be looking for a motion for items 6.1 through 6.8.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move that we accept as a consent agenda, item 6.1, consent agenda, superintendent's recommendations and presentations for personnel and programs, 6.1 through 6.8.
I'll second that.
All right, thank you very much. It's been properly moved and seconded. Board,
Yeah.
questions, comments?
Just comment. I reached out to Mr. Jolly on the student code of conduct that we all reviewed. There was a couple of changes that needed to be made. It was just some dates that were incorrect. I also.
They've been adjusted.
Yeah, the change. I also identified that some of the policies that are referenced are policies that we may have made some changes to that might impact this. I pointed out one to Mr. Zion. I think you said you made that change, right?
Right, okay.
So the thought is we might want to go through the student code of conduct, since policy is what we do, just kind of cross-reference it with the policies that we've done maybe within the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure that the language mirrors what we have on policy.
Understood.
In addition to that, I don't know if Mr. Jolly, if there's a way to add some kind of verb to this current one that, that references, the full policy can be found online, or something that kind of lets parents know that there may have been some slight changes to the policy, because that's what we do.
I think we should work on that tomorrow, so before they print it, before David prints them, we can can put that in there. We can put it in there so we can work on that. I can call you tomorrow.
Absolutely. I'll be more than happy to help with that.
We'll add it.
All right. Very good suggestion. Thank you, Mr.
And then there were a few changes also on the middle school course of study. It was a simple one. That was making sure that we took out Ms. Mitchell's name and put in Mr. Fuller.
And that was done.
Yep, so just wanted to point that out.
I just want to go through a few of these. That's okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, so, second reading of board policy, so we're reading with that. I want to go through, the, 6.2 is a donation to the early, to the elementary school, which we got $1,000 donation. 6.3.
Excuse me, Mr. Johnson, who was the organization?
We're supposed to put it on here.
I mean, the one that said kids in need.
Yeah.
Who is, are we familiar with who spearheads that organization?
Ms. Thompson,
Okay.
Thompson secured that donation.
All right, thank you.
It's from Kids in
Kids in
Need.
need.
Right, I was asking who that
I don't know.
organization was made up of. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure for Ms. Thompson. 6.3 is for online school, so we do have students who still want to be online, so we always partner with ESC to provide that service.
Oh, okay.
So these are students that are Warrensville students,
Okay.
but they are online.
They all high school students?
It's all grade levels.
Oh,
Some
okay.
parents want to homeschool their kids, don't want them to
Oh, okay.
come into the building.
Okay.
So
How many?
it wasn't a lot, maybe 20 or something last year,
Okay.
but it's not a lot. 6.5 again is the PSI, those are the district nurses that we contract out for. 6.6 is the middle school course of study. We did make that adjustment. 6.7 is dancing classroom. Dancing classrooms is a program that we have had at the elementary school since I've been here.
Okay.
It teaches kids how to dance, but it also teaches discipline, teaches time, and teaches everything. And then 6.8 is a resolution to declare impracticality for transporting students to charter schools. So there's some charter schools we just can't transport the students. We don't have the resources at all. So what this does is it says that it's impractical to transport. And what we end up doing is paying them a payment in lieu, which is it's a stipend.
Okay.
So this is to a new Solon Academy. I don't know where it just started somewhere. It's called Solon Academy.
Solon has a charter school?
They have a charter school. And then the other one is Harvard Performance Academy. That's like at the bottom of Harvard, like where Harvard 116 started.
Oh, okay.
So it's about 11 kids that we declared that.
Board, any additional questions? All right, hearing none. Ms. Spivey, would you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Moomin,
Yes.
Mr. Fuller,
Yes.
Mrs. Gator,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts.
Yes, this motion passes 4-0. Next, unfinished business. I see no items listed in that particular section of the agenda. Is there any new business, board? And have we received any correspondence?
We did receive a card from Tracy Mitchell.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay. This is a thank you card. It says, to Mimi, Barb, Earl, Ray, Dr. Rock, and Mr. Jolly. This was by far my hardest goodbye. See you later. I've grown so much as a person and a leader because of each of you. Mr. Jolly, please share my thanks and appreciation with the entire staff. I love and appreciate each of you. Please continue to focus on the scholars and build programming to drive their success. We are one team, one vision, one goal, and I am a Tiger for life. Love you all, Tracy.
All right.
And I can tell you guys, I did speak to her a couple of times. She's settling in just fine. It's like when she's not getting to the phone right away, it's, are you laying out by the pool right now? So she's enjoying her best life.
All right, outstanding. Congrats. Moving on. All right. That was a hard one. That was nice. Next, Mr. Jolly, any announcements?
No announcements, sir.
All right. At this time, board, is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Is there a second?
Let's second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Ms. Spivey, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mr. Fuller,
Yes.
Mrs. Moomin,
Yes.
Mrs. Gator,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts.
Yes, motion passes 4-0. Meeting adjourned.